Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Chicagoland Speedway for the first race of the chase, round one, race one here at Chicagoland for 54 laps of racing in the NRSL Mountain for the Win Cup Series. On the pole for today's race is Grayson Ace Vado. Beside him is Charles Sanford. Starting in second place, row 2, Tony Green, Tyler Merkel. Row 3, Charles Jackson, Deanna Jones. Row 4, Jonathan Solon, William Brock. And in row 5 is James Qualls and Nico Tringali. Entering this race, your 1 seed, Johnny Gardner. 3 wins, 1,015 points. Michael Amato, Alex Gray with 1,010 each. Alexander Rowe also has 1,010 due to his 1 win in Atlanta and winning the All-Star race. He got those 5 bonus points. With 1 win and 1,005 points each, Colin Denton, Jonathan Sorlin, Deanna Jones, Philip Parker, James Shelley, Martin Suarez, Charles Sanford, Jay Barker, Zach Flickinger, and Nate Rogers. And with 1,000 points even, Edwin Mendez and Caleb Hoffman. Following drivers are hometown drivers here tonight: Dylan Young, Zach Flickinger, and Jake Rogers. And I don't know why I said tonight. Let me see. Here's the rest of your starting lineup. Row 6, row 7, row 8, row 9, row 10, row 11, row 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's the rest of your starting lineup. So first race off the chase is here at Chicagoland. Next week is a super speedway / road course, however you want to look at it. And then the final race of the round is at Milano, which is across the Atlantic Ocean.
Drivers, start your engine!
So we get ready for the first race of the season. And yes, I know the stupid shadows are there. Gonna deal with them today. So Ford is on a 2-race win streak. Don't know why I even bother mentioning it. I mean, Chevy's got an 11-race win streak in trucks, but, you know, that's just domination right there. Now, remember, if you are a chase driver, if you win any race in the first 3 rounds and you're still in the chase, you advance to the next round automatically. So who will be the 4 drivers eliminated after round 1? Well, the first chapter of round 1 is about to be written. Let's see what happens here today in the Cup Series. My notes are slim because I'm just looking at the chase. Green flag is out, and we're in the way as a non-chaser 2-time winner on the season. Grayson Ace Vado leads us to the green. Now, trucks, we saw a lot of draft influence was at play. We'll see what happens here with the Cup. Highline was in effect a bit. Will that be the case for the Cup Series drivers as they're going to go 3 wide into turn 3? It looks like that is not the case. Charles Jackson gets to run off the corner, as Grayson Ace Vado will lead the first lap. As you see Sorlin fighting hard with Tony Green, really fast through the corners here at Chicago. James Qualls up in the top 5. Don't see him much with these good runs. Same can be said about Tony Green. And there is Johnny Gardner himself, tied. Decided, hey, you won with us at Darlington, man. Let's say any non-super speedway race in the chase, we'll be aboard your car. You did a great job at Darlington, and they're giving him sponsorship because they have not sponsored anybody in a while. Gardner holds off Fitzwater off of turn 4. Great show of strength in that 32 team. As they started 15th, they're all the way up to 6th place already. Another chaser, Michael Amato, won at Charlotte and Rockingham. Also knows his way around these speedways. Jonathan Sorlin won at Michigan as him and Charles Jackson hunt down the 5 of Grayson Ace Vado. And just see how fast they are going into turns 1. About 205 miles per hour. As these guys try and work their way back up to the lead. You see Gardner pulling away from Fitzwater. Fitzwater 7th, Merkel 8th. Hometown boy Dylan Young is 9th with Austin Alves in 10th. This guy has not had a top 5 yet this season and only has 1 top 10 on the year. And Tony Green gets a better run through 3 and 4, and he'll make the move to the inside. And we had multiple incidents in trucks, but so far that doesn't seem to be the case here in Cup. Couple chasers in the back. Shelley, Barker, Suarez. Nate Rogers is back here. Alex Gray, Colin Denton, and Edwin Mendez all outside the top 30 running order right now. That's not good. See Zach Flickinger, Alexander Rowe, Philip Parker also not doing too great. Deanna Jones. And if you're inside the top 20 right now, you're really just doing a good job. And that's what can be said for Caleb Hoffman, Charles Sanford, and others, as James Qualls is going to get passed by Johnny Gardner out of nowhere, man. He's flying. Charles Jackson and Sorlin were battling, and that allowed the 5 to pull away. And here comes Gardner now looking to pass the 24 of Michael Amato for 4th place. So Gardner's got a car to beat here. Remember, it's not all about draft here. Once you get tire wear built into those tires, the heat's built in, and you can see that high line coming into play as Zachary Fitzwater has closed up to the back of Gardner. Sorlin and Charles Jackson still fighting, but clearly the high line is the preferred line with tires getting worn. Then again, Gardner's moving by Michael Amato. But this is allowing Ace Vado to pull away, looking for that 3rd win on the season. And Jackson's just holding off Sorlin, and Gardner now looking high with a run. This Fitzwater, Merkel, Dylan Young all moving up through the field. Charles Sanford. And as Austin Alves now falling back to 14th place. But Gardner right on the bumper of Sorlin as Jackson pulls away. Sorlin holds up Gardner with that big twitch. As Jackson's trying to reel back the 5. Jackson hasn't won this season. His best run was arguably at Texas, where he had a shot at the win. That win ended up going to Jay Barker. Pit strategy paid off for the 6 team. And now Sorlin, chaser battle right here for 3rd place between Sorlin, Gardner, and Amato. Amato giving help to his fellow Chevy with the draft. How long will that last as Zachary Fitzwater peeks up? And now Gardner pulling away from Amato. As Jackson continues, you can see from the speed difference that he's reeling in the 5. Lap times also show that he is catching up. But Johnny Gardner, 12 laps in, probably just thankful he can be up here in the top 5, as now he looks to the inside of Sorlin once again. You can just see that high line is dominant. But Gardner made it stick. Amato, though, again giving the small draft help to the 42, but into turn 3, he'll peak low. And with that, Johnny Gardner is up to P3. Although Speedway wins are really showing that Gardner is a Speedway driver and a force to be reckoned with on these Speedways, winning at Auto Club, Meadowlands, and Darlington. And he might just be looking for that 4th win. Sorlin fourth, Amato fifth, Fitzwater sixth. Battles back here. See Caleb Hoffman. Bit of a pack back here. People fighting for position. Nick Smith. Again, looking for another top 10. The top 6 have pulled away. Jackson continuing to hunt down Ace Fado, but Sorlin, Gardner, they're all closing in too. So's Fitzwater and Amato. And this top 6 could be in some side-by-side battles here soon. Now, Gardner is trying not to let Sorlin get back to him. As the top 6 begin to form back up. Dylan Young, help from teammate Caleb Hoffman. They're 7th and 8th now. Hoffman, one of those guys in the chase without a win. Adam Rogers almost won last week at Army Digital. That would have thrown him in the chase most likely. And Tyler Merkel, your All-Star Showdown winner. He's up to 10th place. Nico Tringali making a move on Nick Smith. That is for 11th. Side by side off turn 4 is Caleb Hoffman now making a move for 7th place on Dylan Young. And now they've caught up to Grayson Ace Fado. He's led the first 17 laps. He got caught originally by Sorlin and Jackson. And then Jackson and Sorlin got into a battle. Jackson held on. And now here he comes. And here comes Gardner, Sorlin, Amato, and Fitzwater. 3 chasers, 3 non-chasers. Only one of those non-chasers, though, with wins on the season. And there he goes. Charles Jackson will look to the inside into turn 3. Gardner running middle, getting a bit of a good run here off the corner. Ace Fado with the high line. Gardner running high, has nowhere to really go with his speed. And Sorlin's going to end up putting him up high. You can see the speeds have fallen down. Jackson will try to make another go at it. You know, these guys are still close right now. As long as they don't fight too long, Fitzwater's going to go under Amato. But just look at the run Gardner gets off the corner versus Sorlin. And Gardner just about clears Sorlin there, and he does. So Gardner holds on to 3rd. Now he's got to reel back in the 11 and the 5. If they start fighting, it could help him out. But Amato and Gardner hold on to their positions as we hit lap 22 this time by. You can see the fall off has almost reached a whole second. So curious when these guys will begin to pit. Sorlin, see, trying to run a bit more higher. So look at the back of the field. Jay Barker, Martin Suarez, the 2 chasers right now with really bad runs. Colin Denton, Phil Parker, James Shelley, Nate Rogers, Deanna Jones. Not doing so good. There's Alexander Rowe, Alex Gray, Edwin Mendez trying to work his way up to 24th place. James Qualls has fallen outside the top 20. Charles Sanford's fallen to 18th. As they're 7th on back. They are a full 3 seconds behind the main pack. Ace Fado continues to lead, and pit stops will definitely be the curious thing because this is looking to be what will be a caution-free race. So pit strategy could come into play when you want to pit. If you pit a little later, it's probably going to be a full tire run. That might be the way to go. But if you hesitate when someone's pitting and you hold up yourself, that could cost you pitting later. Gardner has caught back up to Jackson. You see how much slower they're going through the corners. But the top four are closing up. Amato and Fitzwater have still maintained their distance. They actually lost a lot of ground that time by. And there goes Charles Jackson again, looking for the lead. Has a bit of help from Gardner on the draft. But that run off the high side is just so much. And Sorlin has a huge run on Gardner. And he'll actually look to the inside of Jackson. This will allow Ace Fatal to pull away. Jackson will clear the 12 back. Gardner's trying to hold on to third. Oops, Sorlin had to check up big right off the corner. That's going to help Gardner fly by the 42. Amato looks high. That's going to cost him. Fitzwater will get to his bottom. You can see the 22 and the rest of the top 10 in the picture. There's Adam Rogers 8th, Dylan Young 9th, and Tyler Merkel 10th. They've pulled away. They're in their little lone packs there, but Fitzwater to the inside of Amato for 5th place. These just can't. It's the tire where I'm guessing pretty much, because it's just so hard to pass now with the tires worn. Almost a full second and a half off. As considering how far on the run we are, pitting early might actually be the better call. And that's what everyone's doing. Look, the whole top 6 are pitting together. Everybody. Dylan Young's going to be the first to stay out. But the whole, pretty much almost the whole top 10 just came to pit road. Dylan Young, Tyler Merkel stay out. You can see how much ground they lost from staying out. Slowing up for the leaders. But Dylan Young gets a lap led at his hometown track, and I think that's good enough for him. But these guys will pit second time by on lap 30. Don't think anybody else will stay out. Actually, Andrew Rich will. Andrew Rich, Zach Rogers both stay out another lap. Looking at the guys coming off of pit road. Charles Jackson passed Grayson Ace Vado. Gardner still third. Oops. Sorlin and Amato had trouble on pit road a bit, it seems. They lost a couple spots. Fitzwater and Adam Rogers come out side by side. And Caleb Hoffman's up here now. But Charles Jackson to the lead with his pit stop. There you see Dylan Young coming out of pit road, so Charles Jackson will resume the race lead. He's Vado second, Gardner third, Hoffman will be 4th. Adam Rogers 5th, Fitzwater 6th, Amato 7th, LJ Toledo 8th, Jonathan Sorlin 9th, and Dylan Young will resume up to speed in 10th place. Eric Benson will be 11th. There comes Andrew Rich, clearly far behind. So Amato and Sorlin lose a good amount of spots. Ace Vado, though, he's closing up. Gardner still kind of falling back a bit. Has fallen back a bit from Ace Vado, but Jackson in the lead. Ace Vado second. Gardner third. Jackson trying to get the win that eluded him at Texas. Could he finally get it done today with his pit strategy? Still 20 laps of racing to go. So let's look at the tail end of the field. Oh, Charles Sanford did not have a good pit stop. He's down to 41st after starting second today. Philip Parker's got a bad run going for him. Nate Rogers. Zach Flickinger. Alexander Rowe. Now remember this, Zach Rogers is 32nd, but he's got the freshest pair of tires out there along with teammate Andrew Rich, who's 27th. Don't be shocked if they gain spots. Jay Barker, Deanna Jones. A lot of chasers doing bad today. Colin Denton, James Shelley, Alex Gray. Martin Suarez just outside the top 20. So a lot of chasers doing bad at Chicagoland today. Edwin Mendez, though, has moved himself up. He was doing pretty bad earlier, but doing a lot better right now. But right now, only inside the top 10 is Sorlin, Amato, Hoffman, and Gardner. Now, Gardner is the top seed, so this good run will really benefit him. Now, he's not really closing in on Ace Fado in the 11. Hoffman and Adam Rogers are somewhat closing in, but Rogers is more closing in on the 22. Jackson, Ace Fado, nope, that time by, they closed up. Remember, you got to make your passing earlier than later because of how tire wear affects. Seth Cole, just running by himself there. They won't really catch those guys in front of him. And Ace Fado's right there, all right, on the tail of the 11. And Gardner just can't really close much with nobody behind him drafting his back end. Jackson looking for his first win. Ace Fado would be looking for his third on the season and his second Speedway win. Winning at Sonoma and Kentucky on the year. He's looking a bit, just can't quite get there. Gardner starting to close back up now to the tail. A third car could help Ace Fado. Gardner lost ground that lap. As much as Gardner would love to win, secure a spot into the next round, I'm sure a top 5 won't be anything too bad. The best lap has gone to the 83. Keep in mind that is some draft. Jackson's still running. Just trying to hold this line the best. Ace Fado is not given an inch on his tail. Gardner closing back up a bit that time by. 13 to go this time at the start-finish line. You can see Jackson running the middle, trying to prevent Ace Fado from getting a really good run on him. And these two are running near identical lap times. Gardner starting to close back in behind them. These two not really closing at all. Dirty air, man. Dirty air. As Amato looks to fight for 6th place with Fitzwater. We had to check up a bit off of 4. But he's got help from Toledo, so he might complete the pass. Jackson and Ace Fado still running near identical lap times as Gardner closes right up to their back ends. And Ace Fado is doing a great job just mimicking the 11. Gardner, I'm sure, would love to go for this win here at 11 to go. And there's his move. Gardner makes a move on Ace Fado into turn 1. Side by side with the 5 down the back. 5's getting help from the 11's draft, but the 11 will pull back down. Running the middle. Gardner's almost in the middle. Gardner has to hold up. Great battle for second here between him and Ace Fado. But I think Ace Fado clears him back. Yep, he does. Ace Fado will clear Gardner off the corner as Adam Rogers and Hoffman fight side by side for 4th place. And Adam Rogers will complete the pass. Slides right up in front of Hoffman for 4th place. Now that really split up Ace Fado, Jackson, and Gardner. As you see Philip Parker, Charles Sanford, Seth Cole running back here. It's just so tough to pass if you don't have the right driver helping you. And Fitzwater has fallen down to 9th place as Eric Benson has climbed up into 10th place. Dylan Young fallen to 13th. Ace Fado, though, quickly closing back up. So is Gardner. And if they could get the right run, they could try and get by Jackson. Toyota, Chevy, and Ford battling it out for this win. As we have 7 laps remaining here at Chicagoland. Jackson would be looking to be the 19th? 20th different winner. We've had 19 different winners on the season. Jackson would be the 19th different one to do it if Ace Fado can win, and he's making the move. Is Gardner going to give him enough help? Remember, Ace Fado led most of the beginning of this race. There's the checkup. Where's Gardner go? Does he try and make it 3 wide? Giving help to the 5. Now up top to the 11. He's helping the 11 right now. Still side by side. It's the 5 and the 11. 11's got the run. Gardner's going right there. Oh, he almost tried to maybe make it 3 wide, but he thought better of it. Ace Fado lifts again, big time. Gardner back up high, back to the bottom. 4 laps to go at Chicagoland. Ace Fado still running the bottom. Gardner's going to run the top with Jackson. Jackson getting a good run off of turn 2. Ace Fado back to the bottom. Gardner now down low, running middle, back all the way to the bottom. Helping Ace Fado. 3 to go. They're side by side still. Gardner back to the top. Ace Fado clears it now. Gardner stuck side by side with the 5. And Adam Rogers and Caleb Hoffman close in big time. Ace Fado trying to clear Gardner. Gardner trying to get that second spot. That's extra points for him. 2 laps to go. And Gardner's going to power around on the outside and pass Grayson Ace Fado for 2nd place. Adam Rogers coming in hot with a huge run. White flag will be in the air this time for Charles Jackson as Gardner's trying his best to maybe close in real quickly. Don't know if he's got enough time. White flag in the air for Charles Jackson. Gardner's trying to close up. He's got Ace Fado. He's got Adam Rogers. 4 cars in a train. Just not going to have enough time. But still, a 2nd place finish will probably be good enough for Gardner. Off of turn 4, Charles Jackson wins at Chicagoland. And becomes the 20th different winner on the season. Gardner gets 2nd, and that was an incredible pass on the high side for Johnny Gardner to pull off. Ace Fado will get 3rd, Adam Rogers 4th, Caleb Hoffman 5th, Amato 6th, Sorlin 7th, LJ Toledo gets 8th, Austin Alves gets his 2nd top 10 of the year with a 9th place finish, and Tyler Merkel will come home 10th. I hope you guys enjoyed the race. I think that was a great caution-free race start to the season. Papyrus next week and Milano the next week are both road courses, so those races will have cautions turned off. So we're going to have some great caution-free racing here in round 1. For trucks, I will see you next. They go to New Hampshire. Hopefully that race isn't as much as a bore fest as Cup was. But I will see you guys next weekend for the Truck Series race, the first race of round 1 for their chase at New Hampshire. See y'all guys next time.